The past is your playground. Abstergo.
At night, at exactly 9:30 on the 11th of March, a teenage boy was found dead wearing his VR headset by his parents. Further details arriving shortly. This has been SpongeBob reporting in San Francisco. A family of 3 is in shock after their teenage son, Nick, died while using a VR headset on the 11th of March, 9:30 at night. The young boy's parents found their son unconscious on his bed. They rushed him to the hospital, but they were too late.
The accident happened at 9:30 at night, in a house of family of 3 on Brown Street. A teenage boy was found unconscious and couldn't be saved after being sent to the hospital. The boy seems to overuse the VR system, causing him to collapse. However, the San Francisco Police Department are now investigating on what really happened. Some people suspected it was a murder by hackers.
I knew VR is a bad thing for our children. It not only made my son a lot more violent, it also made him dead. And the police don't have a clue on how my son died. And my wife, she just couldn't handle it. I hope all the other parents learn from our mistake. Don't let your kids use VR.
Virtual reality became very popular starting from 2015. Games started to combine with the VR system and became worldwide. People will be able to experience the virtual world as if they are being surrounded by fantasy and virtual characters. The experience with VR is just so realistic that more and more people are getting obsessed with this new way of gaming. The use of VR in our youth has been a widely debated topic. Recently, we interviewed the technology experts to get a final verdict on the use of VR.
When VR is used for a prolonged period of time, it can be dangerous. Some people say a lot of VR users lost themselves in virtual reality and the real world. A lot of people tend to stay in the virtual reality even in real life. People are becoming more and more violent because of VR.
From 2007 to 2017, the crime rate has been increasing. This data is from the San Francisco Police Department, SFPD, showing the crime rate data of the years 2007, 2012, and 2017. Because of the people using VR, crime rate increases, and some people say VR created these effects.
VR is a plague upon our society. It ruins our youth and is worse than underage drinking. We must ban VR for the sake of our younger generation. Too much people have been lost due to the virtual reality, especially games that are violent. It makes people subconsciously violent at the same time because this virtual world is where they absorb that kind of emotion and violence.
Recently, we have also interviewed a young teenage girl who is also a fan of VR. So, why do you like VR? How has VR impacted your life? Apparently, the young girl is being so obsessed with VR that she is eventually getting trapped in the virtual world without having much connection with the reality. She is one of those classic examples of young children who suffers from the effect of growing up with virtual reality. Generations like them have been gaming too much that they started to consider the virtual world being more important.
Another problem is the hackers. They can hack into anything. Databases, servers, phones, computers, anything connected to the internet. VR? A piece of cake for them. They hack into your VR and see through the cameras on it. The hacker is able to see your surroundings with their abilities. There's no privacy. And who knew? Hackers have the ability to make you die with the phone in your hand, and even worse, with the VR on your head. Hackers cause a lot of political problems these days. With their ability of hacking into websites and devices, they can basically affect people's safety in daily life. Hackers are able to let a certain device overload itself and an electrical shock you like phones, laptops, and controllers, and even blow up things. The danger with hackers are not just in movies or games anymore. They are real. They're out there doing things.
As you can see, there is a wide consensus on whether the use of virtual reality is really appropriate for our use. And is it really safe? This has been SpongeBob reporting.
DedSec will give you the truth. Do what you will.